Leading. Now this is an important topic in typography. We have talked a lot about kerning so far, and we are going to continue to talk about kerning. It's a very important topic. But leading is very important as well. And basically what we mean by leading is the space between the lines, between the sentences, that empty space, that is called leading. And the reason that it's called leading, which comes from lead, has a historic connotation, which is, you can actually read quite about it here. This is a very, very nice resource, and I'm going to link it into the video, into the description of the video. But if you look here, you will see that historically, when people used to do typesetting with individual little lead characters, then in order to increase the space between the lines, they would add these thin lead strips, kurşun in Turkish, these thin lead strips in order to widen the space between the lines, like as you can see here very clearly. And that is why this is actually called leading. Now let's get back to here. And here, with both of these logotypes that Zeynep made, we do have a leading problem. And in the top here, it's very easily resolved actually by just making this lower word, the word karga, uppercase. Because the reason we have the leading problem is because the ascender of the letter K inevitably makes us have this space here. So basically, what you could do is you could just make this uppercase, and your problem would actually be fixed. So if we look like this, then we no longer have that awkward space, and then we could even probably maybe decrease it a little bit, and things would pretty much be fixed. However, looking at this, I think this logotype in terms of font selection can use some improvement. So I'm going to zoom in. Now this up here is Ubuntu, and this down here is Merriweather. So, and Merriweather is kind of almost like a slab serif font, but not really. It still has these little curves and things. So why don't we just go ahead and make this into a proper slab serif font? And the one that I think I want to use is Roboto. Oops. Here we go. And let's make this slab regular for now. Now in class yesterday, I was telling you about using these very well established fonts that are famous, that a lot of people use. Don't be afraid to do that. It will not make you any less interesting. I mean, the reason why these very famous fonts became as famous as they are is because they are very, very well designed. And they will keep, it will be much easier to resolve kerning issues and things like that, rather than using a font like Merriweather or something that is less known. So what I think I want to do is I want to make this Roboto also, but in a different weight. So let's go back, and we have the slab. So let's go with the thin. So now these both belong to the same family, which gives it a consistency. Now let's add a guide here, and then move the old karga over here. There are some kerning issues that need to be fixed, so this can come in a bit. This can go out a bit, this can go out a bit, and this stays the way it is. So now this is equal. This here looks fine, and now the crow is still kind of like putting his nose kind of like close to the eye, so which is how she had it as well. Now this crow is not a vector, so, and I already made a long big thing about that in class. All of these have to be vectors. So now let's go here, where we also have a leading problem because we have quite a bit of space here. And she did that probably because she couldn't see a way of fitting the crow because of the M, because of the letter M. Now, what she has here is Open Sans, which is a nice font, but I don't think it's working in this case because it doesn't have enough of a harmony with this, but then it also doesn't have enough of a contrast. And then for this one she's using a font called Allegra, which is actually quite a nice font. It's a fancy sans serif, but it's still adaptable. It's still not giving us a lot of personal information, so to speak. It doesn't really remind us of anything, so in that sense it's adaptable. So let's see. So I don't really want to touch this, but I do want to try out some other fonts with this first. And then see, or rather, actually let me tighten up the leading right now, and it's already looking better. But this here, I'm thinking we need to have a font which is more in, either more in contrast or more in harmony with this, and I don't see how we would really be able to create a contrast. So I have been looking, before I started this tutorial, I was looking for some other fonts that might work with this. So I found Museo, and I have the bold version here. So the bold is creating a contrast with, because this is light and this is bold. What I would probably need to do is I would probably need to decrease the kerning a bit, like so. And then I could actually move the crow even further in. And then let's add a guide here for this one. Or here. Let's do it here. And then scale this in such a way that it actually aligns with that, so that we also have a difference in size. And then I think this actually will work very nicely. They are sort of similar fonts in that they have these roundnesses, but then they are also different. And one of them is now bold and the other one is light, so that creates a kind of a contrast. So I think this works much better. But let's try a few other things as well, because I was looking at some other fonts as well, and one of the ones that I found was this font called Samba, which does however have a problem because it doesn't have a Turkish I. So in capital letters. So basically what I had to do is I had to make this all lowercase instead of uppercase, and then I can actually put in the I like this. But now, of course, the problem that we have is that the crow is no longer fitting inside the M. So let's bring it over. What this would mean effectively is that we either move Karga over here. So let me just take this guide and put it over here. Oops, let me go here because the guide will snap. And then actually we get a very nice alignment on this end as well. So this could be version 2. Now here they are two different fonts, but they have similarities. They both have these rounded attributes. They are almost the same weight, so that kind of contrast is gone. They are harmonious fonts. They are not exactly the same, but they are similar enough. So that actually I think works quite well as well. Now of course what we could have done is we could have made this Allegra as well. And I tried that before I started the tutorial, but quite frankly, I don't think it works as well. And also, when we do that, then the M is becoming very narrow again and has a long middle stem, and then I don't think this will work either. This will work, or if we go back to here, then we also, let's see, we also have this. So we have this, and we have this. And that's the end of the leading tutorial in as far as logotypes go. Now we will be talking a lot more about leading in the second semester when we get into editorial design, because there line spacings become a very, very big issue. But even when you have a logotype that goes over 2 lines, like as is the case with these two here, the word breaks into 2 lines, then you always need to be aware of the leading, of having extra space between these 2 lines, because that usually makes a logo fall apart. It usually breaks it apart. It usually makes it get more confusing visually. So you always need to think about leading as much as you think about kerning. So I'll see you later.